The Gran Sudaruska. In her dying breaths, Sudaruska the Unbroken infused her very being into this weapon, cutting through hundreds of ancient ministry as the last front to keep the Ministrasia safe. Now that her mortal shell is no more, she has become Gran Sudaruska. Well, title of the video, straight to the fucking point, you half-wits, in case you haven't realised. My favourite weapon of them all. The Gran Sudaruska, the only weapon worth using. Now, the reason for that is in some of the clips that I'm going to be posting with the video, is that when you use the crit, at times, sometimes you'll notice that I'll crit and then I'll jump towards someone. And the reason for that is because it sort of like carries through. Even though it looks like the crit's done, the animation is still going. So you can go over next to somebody, just jump at them, and now if they're within range of the crit, it sends them up in the air. You get like an extra hit in, just so people don't know. In case people here do not know. So, the Gran Sudaruska is a legendary great axe, worthy of both heavy and frost draw. Now, why do I think this is an S tier weapon compared to like what I posted before, which was the shitty flare blood? Well, that's mostly just because of how good it is as a heavy, and plus, when you use the crit, there's that chance that the icicles fall down and it gets everywhere. That's basically the summary of it. The video's done, basically, isn't it? Well, I noticed that a lot of people like to mix it in with the other things. I like to mix it in with... I use ice daggers, I cast it, it hits them, I use a wayward, so I go into them, and if you've got that frozen pin cushion, if they're on ice and freeze them in place, it's always good. But the thing is with the crit, there's always that high chance that when you hit somebody, it tends to do a lot more damage to them. Plus, you're always applying ice crystals anyways if you're using the crystal edition for it. And that's the one I always like to use. Now, like it says, it rains down ice shards after about 3 hits for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but I guess I just use the crit all the time. Sometimes I use the crit just to cover the area on ice so I have an advantage in when I'm fighting. I suppose the other thing is that I like to use is the whole the vengeful soul. From what it says here, after you kill a contractor, oath, or anyone of the ministry that talks and insults them. I kind of wish that would do it to all of the people you kill, just of anybody. And I sort of hope that maybe for Conquest they do more to do with that. Maybe focus an oath to do with ice. I know it's like Jet Strikers in a sense with Gale in a way. And I wish they would do something focusing on that. Or maybe like improve the Vision Shaper. Because Gran is meant for the Ministry at Ministrasia. Alita, for example, I hope they do an Alita boss and maybe have something to do with her using it, which would be good. Or like maybe give her like a purple edition with the crystal. But that's the summary of this. And overall, it's sort of like, I mean, before it used to be really broken with the crit because you could jump with the crit constantly whilst you're moving. At least with this one, you can still kind of do it, but it's not as like as much. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't think they really need to add anything else to it. I mean, I would like them to. I don't know. It's always good as it is. You don't really need to change it as much. But I suppose maybe if they added another something to do with Frostjaw. Everybody has their pathway. There is Twisted Puppets. It's the mix and match. There's Surge with Lightning. Maybe for Frost. I know they do crystals for Frost, but maybe I feel like they should do something more to it than just turn it red. Because, I mean, all you've done is change Frost to Crystal by simply changing the colour for the path that you go on, and I wish they had done something more with it. But, yeah, I like what I've done with what I have. I don't think they need to do anything else with this weapon. If you're going to use it for any sort of combo, it's great for any ice. It's good for fire, flame, combos. I watched a no-go video the other day, and he was fighting everybody with his attunementless build, and was ass-handing everyone. And then somebody with a Gran Sudaruska build comes up. Ice cubes, Gran, goes off. The crit. Always the crit. Some people don't even predict it when it's coming at them. You can easily stop it by parrying, but the minute you hit somebody with that, you're flying in the air, and then you could do Rising Frost. I mean, there's Rising Wind if you have a Gale Mix build with it. Send them up in the air, and then Ice Grab them in place, and then use the crit again because it's reloaded by then. Anything to send people in the air, get them up higher, ragdoll them. It's good. Also, I have hay fever again. I am sniffling like fucking crazy today. Apologies for my swearing. Not really, I'm Scottish, in case you haven't realised. But that's the summary of the video. It's just me saying the best dub towards the best weapon in the game. Anyways, if you liked what you watched me ranting again, I'll probably post another one later on at some point to do with another weapon I like talking about. Or maybe I'll criticise on the depths and the lack of imagination that it has, because rather now it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed, and au revoir.